moment Lauren Whitmore realized her life had split cleanly in two came quietly, without fireworks or dramatic screams. It came in a doorway, under a soft yellow lamp, with sheets she had once folded neatly, with hope in her hands. One step into that room, and the future she believed in collapsed so completely that her heart didn't even bother to shatter. It simply went numb. Lauren had always believed that if you loved honestly and showed up fully, life would meet you halfway. At 28, she had built her world on that belief. She worked hard, followed rules, trusted deeply. For 2 years she loved Ryan with an open heart and no backup plan. She helped him decorate his apartment, pick out curtains, choose the very sheets that now felt like evidence of her own foolishness. She imagined a future because he never gave her a reason not to. She was riding the quiet pride of a promotion she had earned through long hours and discipline. Senior account manager. Not flashy, but solid. She left work early, with wine and Italian takeout, thinking love should be celebrated when it had the chance. She let herself into Ryan's apartment, with the spare key he'd given her, so easily, believing that trust was a gift, not a liability. The sound she heard from the bedroom wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. Just a laugh. Soft, intimate, final. Lauren didn't scream. She didn't cry. She watched the man she trusted scramble for excuses that she never stayed long enough to hear. She walked out with dignity she didn't feel, and broke down alone in her car, hands shaking on the steering wheel, as everything she had invested herself in crumbled. Emma found her like that. Best friends always do. And when anger replaced shock, Emma offered a solution that sounded ridiculous and reckless and strangely empowering. Hire someone. Not to prove anything to Ryan, but to remind Lauren she wasn't broken, that she was still wanted, still whole. Under wine and wounded pride, Lauren agreed. By 10 o'clock, she was alone in a hotel room that smelled faintly of clean linen and quiet desperation. She told herself this wasn't about revenge. It was about control, about choosing something instead of being chosen against. When the door finally opened, the man who walked in wasn't what she expected. Andrew Cole didn't look like someone for hire. He looked like someone who carried the weight of the world carefully, deliberately, as if other people depended on him not to drop it. He was tired, composed, confused, and before either of them fully understood what had gone wrong, Lauren grabbed his arm and asked him to stay. Not to explain, not to fix, just to stay. Andrew had every reason to leave. The room number was wrong. The night was wrong. The situation made no sense. But when he saw the redness in her eyes, the way grief clung to her skin, something in him softened. He sat down. He listened. Lauren talked. About betrayal, about trust, about how loving fully suddenly felt like a mistake. The words poured out unchecked, raw and messy, and Andrew gave her something she hadn't realized she'd been missing for months. Undivided attention. No phone, no distraction, no judgment. Andrew didn't try to rescue her pain. He didn't rush to reframe it. He simply let it be real. And when he told her she wasn't wrong for trusting, something inside Lauren loosened for the first time that night. The hours passed quietly. Wine glasses emptied. Stories replaced sobs. Andrew asked about her job, her dreams, her promotion. Lauren smiled despite herself. She hadn't expected that. She hadn't expected to feel safe. When Andrew spoke about his daughter, the room shifted. His voice softened, revealing a tenderness forged through loss. He told her about losing his wife 3 years earlier and learning how to be everything for a 6-year-old girl who still looked for her mother in quiet moments. Lauren listened, heart aching in a different way now. Pain recognized pain. That night wasn't about attraction, it was about recognition. Two people sitting in broken places, reminding each other that damage didn't mean destruction. By 4 a.m, reality returned. Andrew needed to leave. A little girl would be waking soon, waiting for the one person she counted on. Lauren stood unsteadily, pulled out her checkbook, and wrote the amount Emma had told her. $5,000. Payment. Closure. Andrew didn't take it. When he asked why she was giving him money, confusion spread between them like cold water. Lauren explained the arrangement, the hiring, the plan, and that's when the truth surfaced. Andrew hadn't been hired. He was the CEO of a billion-dollar company whose assistant had booked the wrong room and encoded the wrong keycard. He had walked into Lauren's life by complete accident. Silence filled the space between them. Embarrassment rushed in, followed quickly by something else. Relief. Lauren laughed, breathless and stunned. All night, she had felt valued, heard, respected, not because money demanded it, but because kindness chose it. Andrew smiled gently, told her that sometimes life reroutes us when we're too hurt to walk straight on our own. They parted without promises. No dramatic declarations, just gratitude, just understanding. Lauren went home changed, not healed completely, but awakened. She didn't answer Ryan's calls. She focused on herself, her work, her growth, the truth that vulnerability wasn't weakness. Weeks later, Andrew sent flowers with a simple note congratulating her, again on her promotion. No grand gesture, just acknowledgement. And months after that, when Lauren finally believed again in showing up as her full self, their paths crossed naturally, deliberately this time. But even if they never had, the lesson would have remained. Sometimes the night you think is meant to prove your worth does something far greater. It reminds you that your value was never gone. It was only buried under someone else's betrayal. Lauren Whitmore learned that heartbreak doesn't end you. It refines you. And the moment you stop trying to prove your value is often the moment life shows you just how much you've always had. If this story moved you, reminded you of your own strength, or helped you feel less alone, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because stories like these aren't just meant to be heard. They're meant to remind you who you are.